When Jackie Collins joined us on Thursday, the 10th of September 2015, we had no idea it would be her last ever television appearance. Just 9 days later, she passed away after a private 6-year battle with cancer. Today, 5 years after her death, her beloved sister, Dame Joan Collins, joins us. But before we talk to her, here's a look at the laughter we were lucky to share with Jackie.
When I was married once, my first wedding, was chased around the table by the best man, literally. And he was married.
You date a famous man, you're going to be shoved out of the way so they can get to the mirror first.
Hollywood wives, they all said to me, oh, that's the book I should have written. And I go, well, yeah, if you weren't so busy screwing your exercise instructor. I mean,
Barbara Cartland said, it's a nasty book, filthy and disgusting. Were you thrilled by that?
I was thrilled.
Is this book written from personal experience?
Of course it is.
I need to know, did you check out all those sexual positions before you wrote the book?
Absolutely. Everyone. That's why I'm exhausted.
Do they go everywhere with you?
Of course they do, yes. I just take them, you know.
You're so rock and roll!
I want my women to kick butt, not get their butt kicked. I love being here.
It's Jackie Collins everywhere.
Wonderful woman, and a very warm welcome now to you, Dame Joan Collins. Thank you so much for joining us today. An emotional weekend ahead, I guess, for all of your family, but certainly one to celebrate such a talented sister.
I know, it's really terribly sad, actually, and particularly seeing those clips of Jackie. She had such a wild sense of humour. I mean, from the time she was a little girl, she always had a quip, she always had a joke. She was funny, quirky, clever. I mean, she was a perfect sister. And this is a very sad weekend for us. And something very strange happened last night. When I first heard about Jackie's death, which was exactly 5 years ago, Percy and I were watching television and all the lights went off all over the village where we are. Everything, complete blackout. Anyway, last night we were watching television and the same thing happened. All of the lights went out. I mean, it was really, really scary, and exactly 5 years before. So I do believe that maybe there was some kind of force that was saying, I'm here. I don't know.
And there's some sort of comfort in that, I guess, Dame Joan, because you were incredibly close, and it is the little things that you miss. It's just picking the phone up. You were very close on a daily basis. It's hard even 5 years on.
It really is. I miss Jackie because, first of all, even though we were not necessarily close physically a lot of the time, because she was in Los Angeles when I was in London, we would call each other all the time. And before that, we would send letters. And whenever something happened that was of interest, or any kind of news or any bit of gossip or something that I thought would interest her, I would call her. And today I think, oh my God, that I must tell Jackie. And of course I can't tell Jackie.
I mean, I think you last saw her in March 2015. Looking back now, do you sort of now think that there were things about her that made you think she was perhaps ill, because she sort of kept it to herself, didn't she?
Yes. A couple of years previously, I had gone from London to LA, and I had seen Jackie, and we'd gone out, and she was just as much fun and making jokes as ever, but she had lost a lot of weight. And she seemed a tiny bit frail, and I asked her daughter, Tiffany, I said, is your mother okay? And Tiffany had a momentary glimpse of something I saw, just for half a second. But as an actress, I saw something there that she didn't want to reveal. And she said, no, she's fine, she's fine. But I felt something, but I didn't want to think about it because, unfortunately, I was in London most of that time. She was in Los Angeles. And although we kept in touch, and, you know, obviously we spoke on the telephone, I never put two and two together. And in a way, I know that she wouldn't have wanted me to worry, which is why she didn't let me know about, you know, her illness. in fact, she didn't want anybody to know. That was the whole thing.
Does it sort of feel bittersweet? Because I get what you say about that, but it must have been difficult as well to not know.
Mm. Well, had I been in Los Angeles all this time, I definitely would have known. But the fact of the matter is that we weren't. We were in Europe most of that last 2 years. Now, she came over to us in March of 2015. We had a huge celebratory party at Claridge's, and it was actually my damehood, and she flew in for that. And that was absolutely fantastic that she was there. And we saw a lot of each other in those few days that she was in London. I know she went on your show, and she wrote 3 books from the time that she was told that she had stage 4 breast cancer. She wrote 3 books in that 7.5 or 8 years. And in fact, she was told, she told me this later, that she was only going to have 3 years. But she did some quite heavy medical things, and she went on for 7.5 years, and it was amazing. But I was always very upset afterwards that she didn't go and have a mammogram. We have breast cancer in our family. Our mother died of breast cancer in the 60s. One of her daughters has had breast cancer, and it's one of the things, one of the diseases that if you catch it early enough, you can apparently.
So, Joan, is it something you have kept on top of yourself? Is it something you worry about? Do you go for regular mammograms?
No, I don't worry. I don't worry. No, because after a certain age, apparently, and if you haven't had it, it's less likely. But yeah, I was very regular. I used to do it 2 or 3 times, 4 times a year. Now, maybe every 2 years, my doctor says. So that's what I do.
And it's true that you are making a show about you and your sister.
Well, we hope so. If we can get the writer to get it together. It's been in the works for so long, I almost forgot that we're doing it, yes.
And presumably that must be quite hard because you're having to think right through your lives together, I'd imagine. Is that tough, or is it something quite joyful to do?
Well, it's very interesting to do it, but I'm not the writer. So I just come up with various information for the producer now and again. And they do have loads and loads of Jackie's diaries. Jackie kept every letter that was ever sent her, every fan letter. I mean, her daughters told me that when they opened all the drawers and cupboards in her house, there was everything that she ever had, every photograph that was ever taken. If she took a still, a pin-up still, for example, she'd have 30 copies of that same still from when she was an actress when she was 17. So, and then, of course, I've written 3 autobiographies. So, and then there's a lot of stuff in the newspapers.
Mm-hmm. Well, Dame Jones, thank you very, very much for talking to us today. There are whispers just before you go that Dynasty might be coming back and you just might be in it, which makes us all very happy, I have to say.
I never heard that whisper.
Oh, there are whispers, and we hear it here first. We hope it's true. Thank you so much. We'll be thinking of you all this weekend. Of course, Dame Joan Collins, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Stay safe.
Thank you.